Welcome back to the channel, guys. Goji Boy here, and today I have a review of the SH Monsterarts Destoroyah special color version. Let's jump in. And here we have Destoroyah special color version, the final boss of the Heisei series of films. I'm going to do a quick rotation just so you can get a look at the beautiful sculpt as well as paintwork that he's got going for him. Boom, boom. This guy just screams menace, and I love it. This guy is so cool. So, starting off, articulation. He can look upwards significantly, I would say. He has a very thick neck, but the joints that he has for it segmented all the way from here. So we have the head attaching to one joint here, another little area, and then the actual super thick neck itself. Really good movements for him. He can't really look down, but honestly, that's okay. This guy, the fact that he can look up that much is just awesome. Very nice sculpt work with his head looking like bat wings. Very nicely textured as well. His horn really does stick out. Very cool, translucent like yellows. His eyes really do stick out as well throughout all the black on his face. His mouth opens wide right there. He has a cute little overbite when it's closed. Chest, insanely sick looking design right here. This cavity, this chest cavity is sculpted remarkably. However, doesn't really move. You get some rotation right here, and that's kind of it. His wings / shoulders and arms do have some interesting motion, so you can move them around as such because this is actually like a hollowed out socket. So here's a view from the back side right here. So it does allow for the whole piece to move in unison. So that is interesting. The wings themselves are also on ball pegs. So you have this portion right here that moves, as well as this little end piece that moves on its own. Very nice. I'm not a fan of the wings themselves though. I kind of wish this was all just one solid piece. Kind of like Ghidorah's. I just don't like this. The fact that you can see the, spaces between them and that they're on very tiny pegs. I have had at least, I think, like maybe 2 on this guy break. So I've had to use adhesive to get them back into place. So not really a fan of the overall wings on him. He does have a smaller wing on the backside right here that is also on a peg, so you can rotate it. So nice. Spikes right here on the shoulders, very nicely detailed, and the reds on here do stick out as well. Arms have rotation here and here, so they can move upwards. You could do like ho 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 ho. He's got that, and his hands are on ball pegs. So there we go. Claws are articulated. You can move them around, little fingers, and very nice paint right there. Really cool. His thick legs, they can barely move, unfortunately. So they have movement, but not much. So yeah, there we go. More of a rotation on the knee area. It is not double jointed. It is way too thick for that. And his feet also have ever so slight motion on him. And the claws throughout his entire body are very nicely done. And moving to the back side, the colors throughout, just amazing. I really like the paintwork on this one. His tail out of the box comes as a separate piece, so you detach it. It's detached, from this portion. You just pop it right into a big ol' ball socket. Since it is so thick, it isn't going to be as articulated as some other Monsterarts, unfortunately, but I mean, that's okay. The fact that it's such a unique design, being so big, I would say this kind of adds to its own flair. So you will have a little segmented area here and here, and then more throughout, just smaller joints. Can't really get, you can get a small S shape. So you can get a little small, tiny S shape going onto that very cool pincer tail. But yeah, super cool design for this guy. There we go. In regards to accessories, he unfortunately does not come with any beam effects. Nothing of the sort. Instead, he comes with a total of 8 tanks, 4 of which will have this design right here. Boom. It does rotate around. And then you will also have 4 of this one, which also has some rotation. So it's pretty neat, but I honestly wish that he would have come with some kind of beam effect. But yeah, so there's that. We're gonna do a quick size comparison. Number 1 to the Monsterarts Burning Godzilla, his foe in the movie. And these guys stack up quite nicely. I am a fan of these two. Here's a little side view. Very cool. Very cool for some fighting scenes. We also have the Monsterarts Mecha Godzilla right here. There we go. And lastly, we're gonna bring in another villain of the Heisei films, being Space Godzilla, who I also think has a very nice sculpt when it comes to the grotesqueness of the overall body, especially like the chest. So I wanted to bring this guy in just so that you can see how well they did that. So there's a little side view right there. Boom. There we go. And there's that. And we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this video. The SH Monsterarts Destoroyah Special Color Version gets a passing grade from me. He unfortunately does suffer from stiff areas amongst his body, just as some other Monsterarts do that are on the bigger scale. But the areas that do count, such as tail, wings, they do, move around as you need them just to get that maximum range of motion for photos. He also has those cool and rather interesting shoulder areas where they move the arms and wings all together. So that is very nice and quite different from what I've seen. Again, this is the special color version, so the paint applications on this guy, I believe, stand out more than the standard release, just like the overall reds and blacks throughout the body, as well as, of course, the yellow horn and eyes, which the other one does not have. They're just like black and red. So this one definitely pops. It adds that extra flair, that menacing look for his final boss, so to speak, look that he has for the Heisei ending of films. This guy does go on eBay for about $500 to $700, so he is on the more expensive side. I lucked out having gotten him back in 2018 at New York Comic Con directly from the Tamashii booth, so I paid about $150. So it's a matter of patience if you're wanting this guy. Just keep an eye on eBay and you might be able to find him. You never know. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. You can check out my Instagram at gojiboy93, where you're going to find photos of this guy as well as other figures in my collection. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. Thank you all so much. Until next time, peace.